Football is called the people's game, a sport born in working-class neighborhoods, a game that brought together countries, cultures, and generations. But in 2026, many fans are asking a difficult question. Has FIFA forgotten the people who made football great? The 2026 FIFA World Cup was supposed to be the biggest celebration in football history. 48 teams, 104 matches, 3 host nations, millions of supporters. Yet instead of talking only about unforgettable goals and historic moments, many conversations have focused on something else. Ticket prices, empty seats, commercialization, and growing criticism aimed directly at FIFA. When FIFA announced the expansion of the World Cup from 32 teams to 48, it was presented as a historic step forward. More countries would qualify. More players would live the World Cup dream. More fans would have a chance to see their nations compete. On paper, it sounded perfect. For the first time ever, 48 nations would take part in football's biggest tournament. The competition became larger than anything FIFA had ever organized. More nations, more stories, more opportunities. But critics warned that bigger doesn't always mean better. A larger tournament would require more stadiums, more travel, more logistics, and significantly more money. At the time, many supporters ignored those concerns. After all, who wouldn't want more World Cup football? But as the tournament approached, reality began to set in. For many fans, attending a World Cup has always been expensive. Flights, hotels, food, transport, tickets. The costs add up quickly. But in 2026, many supporters felt something had changed. Prices reached levels that shocked football fans around the world. Some premium tickets cost thousands of dollars. Resale prices for major matches climbed to extraordinary levels. For ordinary supporters, these numbers felt impossible. Many began asking a simple question. Who is the World Cup actually for? Families who dreamed of watching football's greatest event suddenly realized they couldn't afford to attend. Supporters who had followed their national teams for years found themselves priced out. The criticism spread rapidly across social media. Fans weren't angry because football was expensive. They were angry because football was becoming inaccessible. And then another problem appeared. The World Cup is supposed to look spectacular. Packed stadiums, passionate supporters, a sea of color and noise. But during several matches, television viewers noticed something unusual. Empty seats. Images quickly spread online. Questions followed immediately. If demand was truly so high, why were there empty sections? Some blamed high prices. Others pointed to ticket distribution systems. Many criticized FIFA's pricing strategy. Whatever the reason, the optics were damaging. Football's biggest event appeared unable to fill certain areas of its stadiums. And for many supporters, it felt like proof that something was wrong. Then came another controversy. Hydration breaks. At first glance, they seemed harmless. Player safety is important. Many host cities were expected to experience intense heat. FIFA introduced mandatory hydration breaks to help players recover and avoid dangerous conditions. But critics noticed another side effect. More advertising opportunities. Broadcasters used these stoppages for commercials. And suddenly, a debate began. Were these breaks purely about player safety? Or had commercial interests become part of the equation? Traditional football is famous for its uninterrupted flow. 2 halves. Continuous action. No television timeouts. That's one reason so many people love the sport. For critics, the hydration break controversy represented a worrying trend. More advertisements, more sponsors, more money, and less focus on the fans. The 48-team format remains one of FIFA's most controversial decisions. Supporters of expansion argue that football should be inclusive. Smaller nations deserve opportunities. Emerging football countries deserve a global stage. And from that perspective, expansion has delivered. More nations are participating. More fans are engaged. More regions feel represented. But critics see a different picture. They argue that expansion creates more mismatched games, longer tournaments, and increased pressure on players. Football's calendar is already crowded. Top players compete in enormous numbers of matches every season. Adding more World Cup games only increases those demands. The debate has become one of football's biggest modern questions. Should FIFA prioritize growth? Or should it protect the quality and sustainability of the game? There are no easy answers. But the argument isn't going away. The strange thing is that the 2026 World Cup remains a success in many ways. Television audiences are massive. Global interest remains enormous. Millions continue watching every match. Football is still the world's most popular sport. Yet the tournament has exposed contradictions that FIFA cannot ignore. The organization wants football to be global. But global events are becoming increasingly expensive. FIFA wants to include more nations. But more matches create more logistical challenges. FIFA wants greater revenues. But fans worry commercialization is changing the sport they love. These issues aren't unique to football. They're happening across global sports. But because football belongs to so many people, every change feels personal. And that's why the criticism has become so intense. FIFA has defended many of its decisions. Officials point to enormous demand for tickets. Millions have been sold. The organization argues that revenues generated by major tournaments help fund football development programs around the world. FIFA also insists that player safety remains a priority. Regarding hydration breaks, officials maintain that extreme weather conditions require modern solutions. From FIFA's perspective, the World Cup is evolving. The sport is growing. The audience is expanding. And larger tournaments create greater opportunities for everyone involved. But whether fans accept those explanations is another matter entirely. The 2026 World Cup may eventually be remembered for incredible goals, historic upsets, legendary performances, and unforgettable moments. But it may also be remembered for something else. The moment football fans began seriously questioning the future direction of the sport. Because at the center of every controversy lies one simple question. Who is football really for? The governing bodies? The broadcasters? The sponsors? Or the supporters who fill stadiums, buy shirts, watch matches, and keep the game alive? FIFA's challenge is no longer just organizing the world's biggest football tournament. It's preserving the connection between football and the people who made it the world's game. And if that connection weakens, no amount of revenue, expansion, or commercial success will be enough to replace it. Because football without fans is just a business. And that's a future many supporters refuse to accept.